2020, but he's back for more this weekend at the German Darts Grand Prix. He's up against a man in the somewhat unique position of making his European Tour debut, but a man who, by the same token, has won a maiden Pro Tour title earlier this year. Jim Williams, 37 years old, from South Wales, winning his first PDC title at the end of last month, beating Ricky Evans to take the Players' Championship 6 title in Barnsley. Consequently, the firm favourite to come through this first round match against Wesley Plaisier, but it won't be easy. He's a very talented player, is the Dutchman. Joe Cullen, the number 6 seed, awaits the winner of this one. Dan Dawson has just survived another big, meaty handshake as well, having survived one from Boris Kirchmar earlier. He's warming up, maybe, if he's asked back again tomorrow, for the Kirchmar-Dirk van Dijvenbode doubleheader. But that's all to contemplate later for Dan.
No, I don't have the health insurance to cover that, Mr. Malarkey, so I'll just be doing today. But it is a day when we get to see a little bit of history.
First leg,
Jim Williams appearing on the Euro Tour.
Game on.
We all knew Jim Williams had ability. We know that. We've seen his level. He can play 100 average for many, many sets of darts in big games. Seen it at the Lakeside, seen him win big titles in the WDF/BDO systems. But how many people thought he'd win a title in such a short space of time on PDC circuit?
60.
I wasn't sure. But he's gone and shown that he's quite capable.
Yeah, winning a title on the PDC circuit before making a European Tour debut.
140.
Not many players have done that, maybe, in terms of, well, obviously, if you go back to 2012,
yeah,
then obviously everybody did
before
it.
the European Tour, everybody was doing it. But you're right.
In the
60.
last couple of years or so. But, yeah, it's warming up out there, isn't it?
Yep. Yes, it is.
Crowd are certainly finding their voice. And Martin Loopman, the most recent player to advance to round 2. Williams, a man who only recently was admitting that committing to darts full-time at the top level was a significant and a difficult decision to make because of the day job.
130.
And he was often maybe erring on the side of caution. Found himself in a bit of, well, almost a career no man's land between the PDC and the WDF.
85.
Always knew that making that jump, making that commitment to darts at the top level was always going to be a difficult one. And he actually admitted, you know, winning a tour card may have come at the wrong time.
80.
Bizarre though that sounds, but, well, here he is. Certainly a man who has answered a few questions about where he wants to take his career in the next direction.
100.
It's just very tentative from him, isn't it? Even when he won his title, he was like, "Oh, I'm not going to that one. I'm not going to the weekend in Germany. I'm not sure. I wasn't sure if this was the right thing. I wasn't even sure if I was going to take the tour card. I didn't really know." Like, a lot of players have been dancing around going, "I've won a title. I've only played 9, 10 events, whatever it was. Now I'm going to be world champion." Not Jim. He's not even sure if he's going to bother turning up next week.
And if, in many respects, actually winning the title
99.
might have made things a bit more complicated for him, because it sort of maybe underlines the point that, you know, he could make a really good fist of this.
As I say, look, I still haven't figured him out as a player. I know that he can play
100.
excellent darts because we've seen it and in long format games. But he does seem to have a huge range of performance, and maybe part of that is down to the fact that he's only able to commit a certain amount of time to the darts. So he's, you know, you sometimes see him going for a 70-odd average, like we did occasionally on the Challenge Tour, and you think, well, maybe he's just turned up and hasn't thrown for 3 weeks or a month or something. So
100.
it's difficult to gauge, really. That's his mate who's travelled with him. I think he kind of needs somebody travelling. Very scared of flying, Jim Williams.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, not keen. Which for a man who's won titles all over the place seems a bit of an odd one.
Yeah, well, heaven help him if he ever makes it onto the World Series stage, but there we go, that's a debate for another day.
99.
That seems to be very much on the agenda now, doesn't it, as well, as the world opens up once again. The World Series events are being well, more than penciled in. They are pretty much done deals now.
Yeah.
60.
Dried ink on those deals. Townsville, Wollongong, Hamilton in Australia and New Zealand.
Double 16 for the response
30.
here for Williams, or for his opening leg.
Just a little tap on the shoulder
32.
from Wesley. And one that is completely ignored from Jim. One apiece.
Third leg, Wesley to throw first. Game on.
Early 2019, when Wesley Plaisier made his European Tour debut, that was in Leverkusen at the European Darts Open. He beat Jihan Artuk in that one. 6-4. And lost in the first round of both the European Match Play and the Dutch Darts Masters on home soil, also in 2019. Made it to Belgium at the start of 2020. And back on the European Tour stage for the first time since then. Only 32. Came through the qualifying for this as one of the associate members qualifiers. That's open to those players who don't have a tour card but who did take part at Q School earlier this year. Thomas Junghans, the other such qualifier through that method. One of your friends on the European Tour, Dan. I know you love a little song about Thomas Junghans every now and then, when given the opportunity.
And if he returns, it will be sung. Don't you worry about that. Looking forward to the Thomas Junghans, Ricky Evans Euro Tour game that we should get, and then we can all join in with the walk-on song.
Yeah, and it was Ricky Evans who Jim Williams beat in that Pro Tour final not too long ago. Very nervy finale, of course. If you didn't see it, there was a 7-match darts that were squandered by Jim Williams before he eventually took it out on double one. I think it was a 24-dart leg, having had a 12-darter in the leg before. It was that sort of finale.
Well, sums up Jim Williams, doesn't it? He can be absolutely world class, or he can look rather average. It's just a case of how much of the one and how much of the other.
54.
A couple of misses there from Wesley, but Jim is nowhere in this leg, just as he was in the opening leg. So it's very, very comfortable for the player throwing first at the moment in this game, and if that continues from start to finish, happy days for the Dutchman.
Double eight is found by Wesley Plaisier, so it continues to go with the throw, 2-1. And maybe, just maybe, this is the stage of the match where Wesley will be thinking, do you know what, I might well pull this off, because, as you say, Williams so far hasn't really been pulling up any trees. And if Plaisier just remains steady on throw, then why not? Williams starting this match the not overwhelming favourite, but certainly there was a bit of a gap in the betting.
125.
And I suppose now, having got that title, there's a very different level of expectation on the shoulders of Jim Williams, which is something else he's going to have to factor into the equation. Not so lucky from Wesley, because that was a bounce out on the treble 20. 60 points on the floor there, I feel. Would have left him on 190.
Yeah, I can only assume that that's clattered off the barrel. They're quite chunky darts that Wesley's got. They're like sort of
60.
Massive Dennis Priestley ones. Speaking of chunky.
$46.
We haven't seen the fabled Munich pork sword yet this weekend, have we?
I forgot about that.
The greatest snack in European Tour history.
Oh,
a big sausage on a stick with a spiralised potato covered in paprika around it.
Our camera team are now working like Trojans to find somebody.
Don't worry, if they're here, we'll find it.
Or if they're not here, if they're not being sold.
Writing to the local MP. Now then, a little bit of pressure on the player throwing. 180 from Williams, perfect setup shot. And that is really, really good from Jim Williams.
Fifth leg, Wesley to throw first.
Yeah, 4 holes of throw so far, nothing doing at all. No way through on the other players' throws so far in this one.
90.
Jim Williams.
To illustrate, Jim Williams is averaging 100 on throw, and he's averaging 85 overall. So that tells you he's averaging 70 against the darts. That's how this game has gone so far. Now we're only 4 legs in.
100.
Better.
140.
It's good, isn't it, seeing big crowds on the first day of a Euro Tour?
It is, yeah. I mean, this is
60.
well, it is unique on the European Tour. We have a Saturday start and a Monday finish, and it just lends itself to big crowds, big atmospheres.
And we have seen big crowds on a Friday before.
34.
Probably not this bit. I remember Graz was a sellout on a Friday, I think, in Austria one year. We had 2,000 in there.
That's when Mensur declared it an unofficial bank holiday.
I think
everybody had free license just to take the day off.
129.
It's on.
It is on.
Doesn't need to go 19s here, so he goes 15s for double 12.
105.
Yeah, he fancied that, but he will return looking at double 12 because Williams again 201 minus these, and once again he's struggling for a treble on the Plaisier throw.
41. Wesley requires.
The good news is, Jim, you've left to finish.
But it could be academic because Plaisier takes out double 12 with the first dart in hand. And on we go, 5 successive holes of throw. Jim Williams, a man who secured his tour card by virtue of what he did on the Challenge Tour
60.
last year. Matt Campbell's the other.
Yeah, the Challenge Tour split last year, of course, into the UK and the EU. Jim actually hadn't amassed an enormous amount of money on the Challenge Tour, but he was better than everybody else, so got himself a tour card.
Yeah, the thing was, I think all 12 titles were split or shared between as many different players. So
it was a nervy running in the back end of last year. We may not get similar this year because it looks like Scott Williams might win it by an absolute mile with the way things are going. We shall see.
140.
Well, I think theoretically he could wrap it up on the next weekend.
I think he could, couldn't he? Yeah.
I mean, it takes a lot of balls to fall in this court, but yeah, it's on the cards. It's possible. It's his to lose. Put it that way.
Well, Wesley Plaisier will fancy this leg is his to lose, and we could be seeing the first break of throw here because Wesley's average is climbing and climbing. And that takes it up just above 100, I think. Indeed it does. Not bad.
I mean, look at that. There's 16 points in the average. Plaisier's only 3-2 in front. He'll be wondering what he's got to do to just convert that into something more tangible. 97 away. Tops away. This for a break of throw, and that's what he's got to do. There is the breakthrough that perhaps was warranted by those differences in the averages. That's the first break, and Plaisier now has genuine reason to believe. 4-2 he leads.
Wesley to throw first. Game on.
Very, very decent from the big Dutchman. Joe Collum, the number 6 seed, awaits the winner of this one. A man who's already got a couple of titles to his name this year. Won a night in the Premier League.
140.
The Masters, of course, which got him into the Premier League.
It's the Johnny Clayton route from last year, isn't it? That is a very straightforward route for Wesley Plaisier. Closing in on a 5-2 lead. Had to come through 4 rounds of qualifying, I think, to secure his place in this tournament, the German Darts Grand Prix. There may have been a prelim as well, but he beat Jeremy van der Winkel 5-3. Wesley van Trijp 5-0. David Pluston 5-4 and Owen Rulofs 5-2. in that associate members qualifier, which was held in Riesa just before the most recent European, or sorry, the first European Tour event of the year.
140, 128.
Well, a bit of encouragement for Jim. He needed that ton 40, but hang about, another in there. Oof. Oh, double 10. Took out the 1-2-2. Takes out the 1-2-8, and Wesley Plaisier is rampant.
He'd like Jim to throw first.
The last 3 legs have been won in 13, 12 and 12 darts. This is a mid-game burst from Wesley Plaisier that may be turning into an end-game burst, because he is 1 leg away from smashing his way through, and the average has climbed to 104 right now.
100.
Well, you talk about bursts of momentum. I mean, look at that, 3 legs without reply, as you say. 37 darts to get those 3 legs. And the 2 big sun-plus checkouts as well. Very sure-footed on the finishing. That front 9 average, very pleasant reading as well for the Dutchman. And not too shabby on the finishing numbers either.
Oh yeah, 40%, you're happy with that. And he's had 3 times as many darts at double as Jim Williams. He hasn't even had a shot at double since that 4th leg, because Wesley Plaisier has just taken the game away from him. And a couple of trebles here should be enough to get him to a finish. Not going to get him.
95.
Right there with Jim Williams.
Well, even if Williams gets down to a finish first, Plaisier may be hopeful that Williams might fluff his lines, given, as you say, he's not had a shot at a double for such a long time.
35.
May just catch him a little bit cold. Williams should win this leg, but Plaisier will just look to apply a little bit of pressure. There's its son, gets down to 108.
Well, don't give this man a shot at a ton-plus checkout. You'd be mad to do that.
16s, 1 dart in hand to keep himself going. That was a big finish for Jim Williams. That's what he needed, but he needs a whole lot more. 5-2 becomes 5-3.
Game on.
It's a small step in the right direction, but Wesley Plaisier with the darts in this leg and looking to make the most of them as well.
140.
Well, he's looking like an unstoppable force at the minute, Wesley Plaisier, in this game. And I tell you what, if he repeats this kind of performance, Joe Cullen is going to have his hands full. Because even Euro Tour Joe Cullen, who tends to turn up and average something like 105, 106 or 7 in his opening game, well, Wesley Plaisier would have something to say in that match if he can maintain this kind of standard. Got to go over the line first.
60.
Yeah, a bit of a snarl after that 60 as well for Plaisier. Encouraging. It's a bit loose, that second dart, so he switched very effectively to the treble 17s. Just 1 or 2 whistles from the crowd there. May have just knocked him off his balance ever so slightly.
It's going to take more than that to knock that lad off his balance this afternoon.
100.
Well, could it be
130?
A third 12-dart leg in the last 4 legs? Needs the treble 20 to get a match start at the bull. Can't produce it, but he probably comes back here.
54. Jimmy
That's okay.
161.
2 darts away when he does return, if he does return. And he will return, because once again that first dart from Jim Williams is high above the treble 20. Overcompensates on the second.
65.
Tied us up with the 65 to leave a potential 2-dart finish. Should he get the chance. 76 for Plaisier though, for what would be a first European Tour win since 2019. And he only needed those 2 darts, and look at that, it's another really efficient finish. 13-darter, 12-darter, 12-darter and a 14-darter.
Plaisier, congratulations. What a performance that was.
Thank you, yeah. I don't know what to say.
Do you have any idea what your average was in that game?
I have no idea. 90 plus?
90 plus, 104, the average, the top performance of the day from Wesley Plaisier. What does it feel like to be back on these stages and winning games? First win on a Euro Tour for 3 years for you, I think.
I guess it's awesome. It's awesome. I don't know. I've no words to describe it.
Joe Cullen, the number 6 seed, is who you face tomorrow. If you play like that, you've got a real chance of going into the final day, haven't you?
I know. I hope I can do tomorrow. I'll try my best, and then we'll see what happens.
Well, if he plays like that, the rock star Joe Cullen, the Masters champion, will have his work cut out. Ladies and gentlemen, 104 average. Stunning stuff from Wesley Plaisier. Another winner this afternoon. The next game will be coming up. We're going to have a 5-10 minute break first, and then the action will continue.